you bringing across the type of attitude that you have is even more important. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know a lot of you are saying sometimes, oh, I don't have the skills that they want and this, that, and the other. If you are able to craft your resume, your CV in such a way for us to see your soft skills, for us to see some of the things you have accomplished, then we may be able to overlook some of those qualifications that you have not met. So all those things are vital, but you have to be able to package yourself. Now, another thing is, when we look at people, for example, when I see Jason for the first time, I say, wow, what a young man, well put together, so and so, and him look nice and dress nice, he speaks well. That's natural. We are human beings. We like the exterior. And I know there may be some of you on here who are Christian based and you say, oh no, God looks at the heart. Well, I am not God. We look at people and we judge them based on how they look. Well, naturally, that's what your resume does for you. Your resume is you represented on paper. So the next time that you are going to be sending in a resume, I want you to think about that. Are you representing yourself well? Ask yourself that question. Am I representing myself well? Now, for today's session, I'm going to be using, there's a gentleman who is on YouTube, pretty much one of my mentors in the HR field. His name is Andrew Love Civita. I am using his ultimate guide for, the eye-catching resume today. So I have to give him his credit. So I'm going to be following through on the screen. I hope everybody's seeing it. And we're going to go through what is required for the eye-catching resume. All right. So the first thing that your resume should have is your contact information. Now, your contact information is very basic, guys. It should have your name. Please use your first and last name only. You don't have to use every single title you have. We don't need to say at that point that you have MBA, BBA, certificate, you're a PMP. PMP meaning project management, of course, not political. You are this, that, and the other. It's too much. It's not required, because by the time we go through different areas, we're going to know what kind of qualifications and certification you have. So keep your resume as simple as possible. We want first name, last name. If you're like me and you have a whole heap of middle name, don't put them up there. I have a lot. So middle initials, fine, but it's not necessary. First, last name. All right. Then you need your address. You need your phone number and your email. Let's talk about address a little bit. I remember when I was working at the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica, and I showed my resume to someone who was a chief accountant at the time. And he said to me, that's maybe the reason you're not getting any callback is because of your address. And I was saying to myself, but what to my address? Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong with my address. What is he talking about? But I lived in Almontown at the time, ghetto area. People are prone to not criticizing, but what do you call it, discriminate and so on. And he said, you could actually use the street name and the parish, that Kingston for. He said, why not use that instead? Because sometimes when they pick up the resume, the first thing they see is that community, and they would have a particular perception of who an individual coming from that area is like. I'm not saying that this is right. This is not something that it should be practiced. I'm just telling you how people are. And I'm trying to help you to represent yourself well on paper. So when he told me that, I said, isn't that funny? So I never used it. Although I was still living in Almontown, I was careful. I crafted my resume carefully. So make sure you have your address there. And you need to also Here's why the address is important. For a recruiter like myself, I get resumes from all over the island and even across the world. When I start doing shortlisting, let's say that I need accountant, or I need a admin manager. When I do my search on my system to pull up an admin manager or an accountant, it's not really going to filter by location. But when I pull up the resume and I look at the contact information at the top of the screen, immediately I will say, okay, no, this person is in Portland and I need this post for Mobile. So it may pose a challenge. So don't think that your address is not important. It's important. Put it up there, right? Just as you're seeing it on the screen. It's there on the screen. So the address is there. Well, this is US, but it's still relevant. And you need your phone number. Do not put your house number that you know your helper, that you know your child, that you know your little brother and sister, and the dog barking in the background and all kind of noise in the background. Don't put those numbers. You need to put a cell phone number, the number that you are easiest, it's the easiest contact or the easiest possible route to get to you. That's the number, or those are the numbers that need to be included on your resume. Now, the next thing, email. I gotta go quickly now because time is going. Email. I hate it, and I'm talking for myself now. Nothing that I hate more than when I pull up a resume and I look at the contact section and I say sexy girl Tasha, or I say Chacha boy Roy, or I see you know, gun dogs. I'm like, that's not very professional, guys. Like, emails are out there a dime a dozen. Your email should be your first name and your last name, and if you want to put a year beside it, fine, but it should be your first name, your last name. It should be professional, not sexy girl Tasha or bad boy so and so, whatever the case is. Not because you're young. You need to understand, yes, our chopper email are the scammer them there, you know, at yahoo.com. No, guys, no, nobody wants to see that, right? So make sure you have professional emails that people can get to you at. There's a trick also with the email. You see, when you send somebody your resume from your professional email with your first and your last name, I find you easier. So I don't have to be go digging up Hottie 2021 at hotmail.com or gmail.com. I don't have to be doing that. I don't have to be doing that. I can literally look on your resume and type in your name. I'm gonna find your resume. That's easier. And the name will stick in your recruiter's head. So there's a trick to the whole thing, right? All right, so let's move on now to career profile. So after we have the contact information, then now let's look at the career profile. Now, a lot of people, what they do is at this section, they will have objectives. I'm just letting you know, based on current trends, having an objective line is obsolete. It's no longer, it's not a thing anymore. Just like you have trends and you have fashion, and it's not a thing anymore, right? Because objective is about what you want to do, not what you can provide to us, the employers. And so we're changing it up. A career profile instead in this section. Let me scroll down a little. Let me scroll down. Why is this thing not moving? All right, so the career profile now, it's just gonna give the person, as the employer, a quick snapshot at your background. Who are you? What have you accomplished? Summary of proficient skills. And again, guys, even if you don't have high credentials and qualifications, this is where you sell yourself on the soft skills, right? Let's say you were working at a wholesaler, you manage 3 people. Listen, you can find a nice way to put that in, guys. Work in a high-paced environment. You can say dealing with merchandise stuff, blah, blah, blah. You have to know how to word it. You have to know how to sell yourself. So it tells you who you are. It tells you what you've accomplished. And it gives a summary of your proficiencies and your skills. That's what you need, not objective. The objectives ultimately tells us, the employer, what you want from us, not necessarily what you can do for us. So the career profile tells me right away that you can what you can do for the employer. And I see our wonderful host there saying, remember to hashtag secure the job JA. So you need to make sure you're putting that on all the social media platforms. All right. Now let's move on to career highlights. I know a lot of you may not have much job experience. That's fine. Any experience is an experience. You just want to ensure that you capture it on your CV, right? So this is the area now. This is section 4. This is the area, section 3. This is the section now you're going to indicate about 4 of your significant accomplishments. 4 of your significant accomplishments. No matter how small, no matter how short your experience, put something down. Put something down. I'm going to ensure that I give this example, this template to Jason, Mr. Brown, and he will find a way to send it to you guys, okay? Ensure that if you have anything related to helping a company to generate profits, reducing expenses, because you know your boss are gonna love you about money, right? Yes. Optimizing their infrastructure, making a process more efficient. These are the things that we're looking for. We want to know that, listen, you're not just going to come and twiddle your thumb or, you know, play around and just chat by the cooler. We want to know that you can actually come and do a thing or two, right? So this is where you have to just put in your experience. What were you able to do? How did it help? And can I tell you, we love numbers, we love figures. So if you can come and say, oh, you increased the process or you made it more efficient by 10% or 15%, or you reduce expenses by 5%, or you did so and so by, you know, we love to hear that. So if you can account for, or if you can put into percentages and dollar figures, it would be so impressive for somebody to pick up the resume and see it and say, yeah, man, the person you're going with that thing, I'd love to have a talk with them and see how they were able to do it. Now, guys, you know what I forgot to mention? A lot of persons now put pictures on their CVs. I like it. I see Nikita here asking, 1 second. I see Nikita here asking, what if we don't have any experience at all? That's why I said to you, even if you don't have experience, you can sell yourself in the career profile. Who are you? What kind of skills do you have? So you may not have anything under the experience, but who are you? What can you bring to the table? And remember, if you are a part of any extracurricular activity, any clubs, you've had any leadership in any of these clubs or organizations, that accounts for experience. All right. So we'll talk more about that. But I wanted to touch on the point of, in today's society, we like to see pretty pictures and so on. So people put their pictures on their CV. I see Carla on here. Carla is actually tuning in all the way from Guyana. Carla, big up yourself. Happy you could join us. Right. So is there a difference between a CV and resume? So one and the same thing. So naturally, when you're sending in a resume, hold on, guys. I think I need some water.
All right, guys, so what we can do is there's going to be a Q&A section at the end of the presentation, so you can just hold on to your questions, and then when Ms. Wright is finished presenting, then we can take all the questions, all right?
Yes, so hold the questions, guys. All right, so here's what I've been seeing. Here's what I've been seeing. Watch out, guys. Me tell you big water, I have water right here. So I'm sorry. All right. So what I've been seeing is we're getting the resumes and the pictures are there. But you guys just choose any selfie picture and put it on the resume. Or I don't know if you just couldn't take a professional picture, you just pull one from your Instagram and just put it on the resume. Like, people will mark you out for those things. If you are going to include a picture on your resume, ensure that you look professional. It could be even your graduation picture. I don't really mind, but the picture is not that, I mean, you don't have to put the picture there. But if you are going to use a picture, please ensure the picture is professional. Thank you. Thank you. Ensure the picture is professional. You cannot just post any selfie on your resume or CV. It does not work like that, because that says you don't know how to differentiate personal things from your professional life. And so you don't want to do that. No, we're now at work experiences, or you can term it professional experience. Now everybody knows what's under here, all your job experiences. No, there is a particular order that you should really do it in. No, nothing is worse than when I get a CV and I am reading that you had a job in 2010. That's the first thing you listen to, 2010. So I'm going to have to go to page 5 to find 2021 work experience. I hate that. Don't do that. What you really should do is put your current employer first. You're going to indicate the role, state how long, and just as you're seeing it on the screen, it is best for you to do it in that order, because that is how we read it. Let me show you. Let me highlight this thing. We read it this way. Current employer. So we say, okay, you work with that person. And then we look over here and we say, oh yes, you had about 5 months experience. And then we read what you did while you were there. And then it should be in what we call the reverse chronological order. So it should not be that you're starting from your first job and then go all the way. It's too much work. I'm sorry, guys. So be careful of how it is that you are setting up your professional experience. Now, some of you, when you're doing this, you list out everything on your job description. That is not required. Don't do that. You're taking up too much space. If the resume is over 3 pages, that are too much page. You're wasting pages because we're not reading it. We're not going through everything. So you want to ensure that you have the essentials in the resume and not necessarily every single thing. We don't need to see every single thing. So your resume should ideally be 2 pages, but 3 would be allowed. So that's how you list your professional experiences. You put the names of the companies on the left side. You put the dates on the right. Now, the last thing is going to be education. Now, I notice many of the resumes that I get, education starts the resume or the CV. Guys, do not do that. And I don't need to see which high school you went to, and which prep school, and which primary school, and which basic school. Give me a second, guys. All right. I don't need to see all of those things. No employer needs to see that unless your last education was high school, right? But you don't need to be listing every single thing. Now, when you're listing where you went to school, you put the name of the school, the date of your degree or certification, completion date, the city, maybe, if you want to, but I mean, Jamaica is small, so I don't think it would be required. And then now we move. No, don't be too concerned. I'll explain why. I have been traveling from yesterday, 12 noon, until 3 a.m. this morning. So I'm out of the country. It's been a very long stretch. So yeah, stay with me. Out in the night here as well. So yeah, but I said I wasn't gonna miss it because I have to come and share with you guys. Now, after education, put your extracurricular activities. Now, a lot of people may say, boy, this is not even important. Yes, it is, because a lot of you are a part of different organizations. You're in leadership roles. You're doing all kind of things. You don't think it's important, but it is, because those experiences can help you in the workplace, right? So you need to put the name of the organization, company, the activity that you do, your title that you serve, even if it's a non-profit, do that too, because all those things, they add to your skill. There's another thing I wanted to mention too. Hobbies, not really important. You don't have to put it in this day and age, unless, of course, you probably served in a particular role. Yeah, you don't have to add all your experiences either. Let's say you had 10 jobs. You can't put all the 10 jobs. You can't put all the 10 jobs. And to be honest, sometimes you may be judged, guys, if you have so many different jobs, because they're saying, why can't you stay one place? Like, they're thinking to themselves, maybe you're doing something wrong, or maybe, something is not right. So every minute you move from one place to the next, to the next, to the next. And they're thinking there's no longevity, there's no loyalty, you won't stay. So that may be a problem. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stop here, give you guys some time, send the questions. Let me get some more water and come back. All right, so get the questions in. Jason, please see if you can help me to get the questions, and I'll be right back to tie up everything.
All right, everyone, and we're back. That was so informative. I was having so much fun. And, funny enough, if we can really analyze our resumes right now, how much of us can say that we're in a good spot in regards to our resumes? So from the picture to the email addresses, to the lack of your skills and qualifications, to the one bag of job listings, how many of us can say that we're in a good standing right now? All right, so while we have her back, we're going to be facilitating the Q&A right now. So I'm going to be asking you at the bottom of your screen, you should be seeing more. You're going to click on our reactions. You're going to raise your hand. And then once your hand is raised, we're going to ask you just to unmute your mic, ask your question, and then it will be answered. But I know we have some on YouTube as well, or as we have Latoya Morris asking, ideally, what areas should be covered in the cover letter?
Yes, that's an excellent question. Thank you for that. Now, your cover letter, you're not going to reiterate everything that you put in your resume or CV. You don't need to do that because we're going to see that. And I'm going to give you another inside nugget. We don't really read it either. Guys, I'm telling you the truth. Probably my other HR colleagues are going to be like, Nas, don't say that. But it's true, we don't read it. And some of you have a cover letter, the cover letter 2 pages. Who will read that? We don't have no time for that, man. So your cover letter, in essence, should say, why should we hire you? Why do you want to join my company? Why you want to leave your good work and come on my company? Why do you think you can add value? You can mention one or two of your soft skill. You can mention your most recent degree or certification and how you add value to your last company. But guys, do not overdo it. We don't have the time for it. We just want to have that good representation of you to say, all right, I want to meet this Jason Brown person, right? And then when him come and say, yeah, man, I see him, so I picture him, because that was how he represented himself on the resume. So I don't want you to overdo cover letters. Don't do it. But
All right.
But one thing, make sure your personality is in it. Do not just get somebody's cover letter and edit it, guys. Sit and write it for yourself. It does a world of a difference because everybody out there doing the same thing.
All right, so I have another question. Should we list all our experiences or should we list the top 5? And that's coming from Samoya Cornwall.
Yes, Samoya, I think I had mentioned it. We don't have time to go through every single job. And my concern, let me speak for myself. My concern when I look at a resume, and you just had like 3 years of work experience, but had 15 jobs. That tells me that you don't have no abidance city. Like you just roam from one place to the next, right? Now, if you have gotten short stints at these places, that's different. Indicate that they're contracts, but you don't need to list everything. Put the most recent ones and you can cut it there because it won't necessarily look good.
All right, thank you. All right, before I go to YouTube, we have Nikita asking, are we able to use resume templates?
Yeah, man, use your resume templates. Any template that you like, use it, but just ensure that it follows. You see that this is what I've left with you. I really need you guys to get this template. What I've left with you guys, or I taught you guys today, ensure that it's intertwined in your template. All right.
Great. So Chantel, you may unmute and go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. My question is this: if you're making a career transition, should you have 2 separate resumes? For example, currently a guidance counselor looking to transition to HR, should I have them on one resume or have 2 separate resumes?
Chantel, is 2 of you? I'm just asking. Is 2?
No, the reason why I ask is because I would be interested in a job in any of the areas. So should I send it to?
Let me explain something to you. We are people by nature. And what I may like today, I may not like tomorrow. We understand that. But again, it needs to be a good representation of you. So yes, Chantal, you're in a guidance counseling, but you are transitioning to HR. So in your top part of your resume, you know, when you're talking about career profile, you can include it there. You don't need to do 2. You can include that you've had a background in guidance counseling and now transitioning into HR, which, by the way, those 2 are very closely related. You don't need to do 2 resumes.
All right, thank you for that. So let's jump over to YouTube. So we have so many persons on YouTube. YouTube massive, thank you so much for tuning in. All right, so we have a question coming from Shamar Moore. What are your thoughts on online certification and trainings, especially for younger professionals with no experience?
I love it. I love it. Like when I have a young person who comes to me and I see, well, comes to me meaning them resume, and I see that they spent their pandemic doing online courses, me in love, more meet them. I said, listen, finally, somebody who is not frolicking or wasting time online. I said, yeah, man, that person I want to meet, because if you can go school on your own initiative, guys, that's a major plus. Use those things to your advantage. So I love that question.
All right, so let's take about 2 more. And let me also, we have persons from the UK watching on YouTube. Thank you so much. And we are booked to capacity on Zoom. Wow, wow, we love that. So we have about 2 more minutes, so 2 questions. From Nisha, should we put a few courses we did in university on our resume? Also, should we put work experiences if we did work and travel? And can we put a work experience for over 6 years ago?
That's like 4 questions in one.
The first one, should you put your university courses on your resume?
Only if it is applying to the job that you are trying to get. Let's say, for instance, I just recruited a financial analyst. If it is that you did courses in costing, you did courses in reading financial statements, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, put it on it, definitely. I'm not saying you're going to put all 60 courses where you're doing another 4 years. We don't have time for that. Just put what's relevant. And then the next one, Jason.
The next one is, should we put work and travel experiences on our resume?
Yes, yes, because foreign life hard. So if you guys, may I have to be frank with you, I can come and I can be nice and prim and proper, but I want you to really understand. So I have to come down to on a wavelength. Listen, if you can go far and work so hard, I work 2 jobs and can't sleep or whatever just to make that money to come back home and pay your school fee, hell yeah, me too. That's good. Even if it don't have nothing to do with the job, put it there. It's showing me that you're versatile. It's showing me that, listen, you can manage in a dual cultures. I love that. And people who are exposed, they think different. Meet a man who travel the world, he thinks differently from everybody else. Put it there.
All right, awesome. And the last question for this segment, we have to do a part 2. Have to do a part 2. So what about applying to multiple positions at the same organization? Should I do 1 CV for each?
I don't
and that's coming from Travis Barrett.
Hi, Travis, we have the same last name. We're family, man. Yeah, my maiden name is Barrett. Travis, here's the thing. All I resume them, I go to the same person. How is it that you're going to switch up the resume? You're one person. Again, you're one person. If it is that you can do dual functions, different functions, fine. But I don't want you to be switching up your resume for 5 different posts. What if you get shortlisted for the 5 of them and then people are saying, but why am change the resume to match this when it's just one you? Find a way to combine what you need to combine and do it. But I don't like it.
Right. So those are all the questions we can take for this segment. But thank you so much, Mrs. Wright. You were amazing and I appreciate you so much. So I'm going to allow you right now for persons who want to connect with you. Tell us about your socials so that we can connect.
All right. So when I jump off here, I expect to see 100 people following me. Please go follow me on Instagram at Natasha Wright, on Facebook at Natasha Wright. Mindfood is on mindfood_01 on Instagram, but the main page is at Natasha Wright on Instagram. I try to answer every single DM. It's very hard. Don't stress me out. I hope you took your notes because it's tough to be talking to everybody. But yeah, guys, I could not have missed this. Pouring into my young people is what I'm about. I am dead tired. I tell you the truth, tired, pop down. But I wanted to share what I had to share with you guys. Go in the workforce and change the world. Don't go in there and then get, mixed up in mediocrity. You were created to stand out. Go and make a difference. Now go in there for go just get a paycheck to drive a nice car. Because let me tell you something. The car and they also disappear, so you need to be operating in your purpose, guys. So go follow me on Instagram now, and it has been such a pleasure. I am going to sleep. My other presenters, bless up yourself. I can't stay with you, Jason. You are amazing, amazing, amazing.
Wow, you are even more amazing, and God bless you. Thank you so much, guys. In the chat, let's just give us some hand claps. Use your reaction, just give her some hand claps. Let's make her feel appreciated. We can't pay for this type of knowledge, but we are so grateful that you came on to be with us. Brian, I see you over there on YouTube. Thank you so much for supporting. The YouTube comments are lovely. I see my dad, my mom. Thank you so much, my family. I love them. And my friend, Sir John, today's your birthday. Happy birthday, Sir John. I hope you're having a great time. So now before we go, we have to shout out the sponsors. We have Statement Pieces by Chris. We have Terrace Cosmetics. We have Let's Talk Money with Carlton. We have Design Central JA. And we also have Flourish Men's Care. So I'm going to be posting how you can win these lovely gifts that they have to outfit some lucky persons to get ready for that job, for that interview, for that experience, because we're seeking to outfit and uplift as much as we can. So now we're going to move to our second presenter. And guys, I see some persons tweeting and posting on Instagram using the hashtag #SecureTheJobJA. We want to get this trending. So if you're on YouTube, just click that share option and just share the link on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on Twitter, on Instagram. If you can swipe up, do a swipe up. Let's spread the word. We can accommodate as many persons as possible on YouTube. Zoom is capped, but let's continue to build. Let's not be selfish with the knowledge. Let us continue to uplift and build. So it's time for our second presenter. Our second presenter is Mr. Shane Bennett. Shane Bennett is the founder and managing director of Integrate Communications. Shane Bennett's mission is rooted in digital brand development and strategic marketing for brands of all kinds. In the last decade, he has worked with high-profile clients such as Flow Regional, Proven Wealth, Lasco, Expo Jamaica, as well as personal brands such as Alkaline, Patrice J. White, Chevelle Franklin, Prodigal Son, Sean Life, Arundel Positive, and more. His aim is to get brands visible and to drive more sales. So Mr. Shane Bennett, who is a digital strategist, will be speaking to us this morning about the creative portfolio. How do I stand out? And as per usual, we're using the hashtag #SecureTheJobJA. So at this time, I'm going to be inviting Mr. Shane Bennett to come on into the room and make his presentation at this time. So Shane, over to you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Just trying to get set up quickly. Today's a bit of a crazy day, but if you're enjoying the session so far, let me see some talk in the chat, please. I want to see what you've learned. Have you made me co-presenter, Jason? Hi, someone said yes.
Yes, you are a co-host, so you can go ahead and share.
Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to get this thing going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get ready just to see how you can differentiate yourself with a portfolio. I'm gonna share now, and everything should be good. Click present, and here we go. 1 second.
It's 11 o'clock.
Can you see my screen, or what are you seeing on my screen?
We're seeing building your kick-ass career portfolio.
All right. So if you want to know how to build a portfolio, let me see some talk in the chat. I'm not seeing anything as it. I want to see people talking. What do you want to know? Let me see people talking in the chat. All right, good, ready. All right, so my name is Shane Bennett. As you can see, I have a master's in digital business. So my aim is to really help you to stand out. This is how I'm going to show you how you can stand out. Let's get it. I see you, Denton. I see you, Kurt. I see you, Jason. All right, so let's go. Let me just make sure you see my screen. Next page. Okay, who am I? So Jason said it before. So I have over a decade's experience in brand building, and I have a passion for increasing visibility and sales for SMEs, corporate brands, and personal brands through PR and digital, right? Now, how are you going to do that? How I really want you to do that is understanding that you need to differentiate yourself. Jason is asking, where's my video? Let me turn it on. I thought it was on. Can you guys see me now? Yes? I don't know if you can.
Yes, we're seeing you. Awesome,
Okay,
awesome,
great,
awesome.
excellent. All right, so these are some of the people that I've had a chance to work with and impact. I'm not want to go so far. I'm gone so far already. Come on, Canva, don't fail me. Okay, here we go. So these are some of the brands I've had an opportunity to work with in the last decade, and I'm grateful that I've got an opportunity to really mold for the time that I've been there, their digital presence and how they position themselves online. You get me? 1 second for me, guys. Don't move. 1 second.
All right, everyone. So while we wait, just go ahead and share the link one more time. Share the link on all your socials. I want to see the hashtags and the tags coming on Twitter. Come on, share what you're learning so far. Use the hashtag secure the job JA. I want to see everyone engaging on social media. Let's create the revolution.
Right,
And let me remind you again. All right. So Sir Shane is back.
All right, great. Let me turn on back my camera. Great. So let's talk about you guys. Whether you like it or not, you're a brand. And what does that mean? You have to occupy a space in the mind of the people who are your potential employers, and you have to deliver on those promises every single chance you get. Now, I want you to type in the chat, what do you want to be known for? When you think about brands like Apple, they're known for sleekness, they're known for quick and fast there. What do you want to be known for? Let me see what you want to be known for in the chat. From you to treat. Hi, Kurt. What do you want to be known for in the chat? For me, I want to be known for impact. I want to be known as a guy that increases your visibility and sales. So Jason wants to be known for impact. Great. All right, let's move to the next slide. What is your superpower? Oh, no, my bad. Don't know why that came up. Influence. Great. So let's talk about portfolio. What do you need? Here's some of the things that I want you to think about. When it comes to your authenticity, great, Selena. Excellent, great. I want you to think about what word you want to occupy in the minds of the people that you're trying to get to see you, right? So if you think about the fact that, let's say you want to work at brands like Grace or Google or LinkedIn, where innovation, great, Kurt. Where do you see yourself and what problem do you solve? You have to always think about that, what problem do you solve? You want to be known for having a great catering company, what problem do you solve? If you understand that once you solve a problem and you position yourself in the minds of these employees, they're going to take a second step and go, I should probably give you a talk, right? So let's look at portfolios and what we need to add. This is moving slow. No, why is this? Where's that? Okay, here we go. Here's one of the things that we're looking at. You're looking at one, what do you do? So I do a few things really well: copywriting, brand and digital strategy, content creation, and strategy. So that's one of the things you want to look at. If you have a Canva account or you know about Canva, let me see you talk about it in the chat or on YouTube. Does anybody here know about Canva? Waiting until you guys can reply. Yes, Canva is a good tool. Shama, excellent. Yes. Oh, okay, good. And to go to at this point, what I want you to do is think about doing your portfolios on very simple tools like Canva, or on things like what's that new version of Excel that they have again? I forgot the name. The name was on the tip of my tongue a while ago. Prezi, yes, either Canva or Prezi. Think about how you can differentiate yourself by putting your name, your brand, all of that you do in a portfolio on Canva or Prezi. This was created by Canva. All right, so here are some of the things I want you to focus on when you're doing your presentation, your portfolio. And where does a portfolio come from? The portfolio comes from, if you know anything about modeling, I used to love watching America's Next Top Model because I wanted to find out how they did so well. Whenever a model would go to something called a go-see, they have to present their portfolio, meaning what it is that they do and they do well. Because at the end of the day, sometimes somebody doesn't need to give an interview, they need to see what you've done and how you solve that problem. So let's go to the next thing. Sorry, Jason, this is moving a bit slow. All right. All right. So the first thing I want, after you look at what problems you solve. I want you to look at the feedback. If you've done work and you have feedback from people, put it in your portfolio. Here's some of the feedback that I've had. I'm not sure if you know this guy by the name of Joel Darkham. If you know, you can put it in the chat. These are some of the things that people who I've worked with have said about me. But let's say you haven't worked with anybody before. This is where volunteering comes in. If you've never worked in a life, I urge you, volunteer. Volunteering never hurt anyone. My first job, I started looking at 15 years old for a company called PraiseRiot.com. And how I started with PraiseRiot.com is that at the time, we used to have a lot of concerts, and concerts were not free, but I had to find a way to get into those concerts. So what I did, I used my writing ability to enter into those spaces. And from that, I showcased my ability to position the brand as a place where entertainment lived. And so I wrote majority of the stories. But from that experience, I was able to get testimonials. I was able to showcase that I was able to build their social media. I was able to showcase that I was a great writer, to showcase how I could use that skill into corporate brands. In fact, working at PraiseRiot.com allowed me to get my first job at the University of Technology. Never tried it? Okay, this is what, Canva? Okay. Let's look at some of the things that other people have said, right? There you go, client feedback, focus on the client feedback, right? But what is your superpower? Put in the chat what it is that you do well. I want to see what it is that you do well. I'm waiting on this to know what you do well. Do you know what you do well? Communication, okay. Samra, okay, you teach English well. Okay, so you're a communicator, okay. Anything else? Writing and planning, okay, Glenisha, that's great. Excellent cook, okay, great, Georgia. Encouraging others, okay, great. Strategy, empowerment, you're a planner, motivate and make other people smile. Okay, they're coming fast and furious. Writing, create, graphic design, writing and speech, continue. Let me know what else you do well. Solve problems, YouTubing. Is YouTubing a good thing? Let's discuss that shortly after. You preach well, doing your, okay. Data analytics, great. Logos, graphics, vocals. Okay, Chris, we know this. We know this very well. We know this well. So I want you to IT, Ricardo Higgins. Okay, great. Okay. Now I want to do a live demo. Jason, is it okay if I do a live demo right now?
Sure, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
I want anybody who's willing to be my first victim to allow me to work on your portfolio while we're in Canva. You're willing and you want me to work on your portfolio, put yourself in the chat and you can work on your portfolio right now.
So Georgia Brown raised their hand.
Georgia, boy, Georgia, quick and fast. All right, Georgia, let's go. Turn on your mic and let's talk. Let's talk about what you do and how we can help you become the best version. And done it. Donnelly, I'm sorry, Georgia, beat to it.
Hi.
Hi, Georgia, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
I want to be able to see you. I'm trying to get out of this thing. I want to see you, Georgia.
Ooh, my hair is not at the best.
Oh, you don't have any camera. That's fine. All right, Georgia, talk to me. Let us create, because we're going through with everyone. While we're in Canva, I'm not going to create your portfolio. So talk to me a little bit, Georgia. What do you do and what do you do well?
All right. So currently, I do catering. I
do catering?
Lunches.
All right. So first thing I want you to do, are you still seeing my screen, guys?
Yes, I'm seeing.
What are you seeing on the screen? You're seeing a Word doc?
Yes.
All right.
No,
So
I see what's your superpower.
That's your superpower. All right. Let me switch to the Word doc, because what I want you guys to do is to plan. You need to plan your portfolio. All right. Are you seeing the Word doc now?
No. Yes.
All right. All right, so let's talk, Georgia. What is your superpower? What do you want to be known for? Let's do it. G's superpower playbook. That's what we're going to call your portfolio. What do you want to be known for, and what are you great at? What problem do you solve for companies?
My day job is actually data analytics, but
all right. What does that mean? What does that mean for the people on the call? What does data analytics mean? What can you help a company do?
I help a company spot certain trends and activities that would either profit their business or give them a loss for their business.
All right. Are you on LinkedIn? I should have asked that. Are you on LinkedIn right now? Do you have a LinkedIn account?
Yes, I do.
Is it updated? Because what I want you to focus on is when you're using your LinkedIn, use your LinkedIn to create a portfolio.
No,
Is your
it's
LinkedIn account
not.
updated?
No, it's not.
All right, that's fine. We can get this information and we can update. Jason, how much time do I have left, by the way?
You have about 15 minutes left.
15, okay. All right, so talk to me now. Data analytics, how you repeat for me what it is that you do to solve the problem, because that's what we want to focus on. How do you solve the problem? So you look for trends.
Yes.
Okay. But that's a job description. In your field of data analytics, what have you accomplished so far? Do you know anything that you've accomplished so far?
Well, in my field, I have personally assisted with lowering the, all right, so I work as a workforce analysis. So my job.
So that's not like HR.
No, it's actually a part of the call center, a part of the BPO.
Okay, okay. So
I
you
work for
lower what?
analysis.
Go again, you lower?
I assisted in lowering the handle time.
Okay. Lower the handle. What does that mean? Explain what that. Well, I guess the people in the BPO would know. What does handle time mean?
The amount of time that persons take to manage, to take one call. So
Okay.
if you're supposed to spend 10 minutes on a call, I noticed a trend. Yes, thanks, involved a call. So I noticed a trend with higher call volume at a particular time of the day. And I actually assisted with lowering that call time, those call times during that time to actually make it better for the company to meet service level at a particular.
Great. Do you know how much percentage? Because people like to look at numbers. By how much percentage do you think, or by what, from what to what did you lower the call time? Do you know that?
All right. So the call time was averaging at 23 minutes.
And you lowered it to?
We lowered it back to 14.5, 40 minutes, 30 seconds.
14, so from 23 to 14. How much percentage is that? If you can calculate that and let me know. Somebody puts it in the chat. Math is not my favorite subject, by the way. Lower the call time by, let's say, X% for now, because you want to showcase what you're doing by X%. And how long did it take for you to do that?
It took us roughly 3 months because we had to go into training.
Lower the handle time by X% in 3 months. That's great. So what you're showcasing is that you have the capacity to increase the profitability of the company and efficiency of the company and the people of the company. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Not quite?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
Okay, that's correct. All right, great. What else? What other problem do you solve, Georgia?
I solve scheduling problems.
Okay, how do you solve?
Which is more of a human aspect of the scheduling, where you'd prefer to give someone who has a preferential time to work other than shoving a time bracket for them. So if you prefer to work night shifts, you would get a night shift to work instead of giving you a morning shift where you'd be late or absent or calling in sick. So that aids in productivity for the company.
So what you're saying is that you increase productivity and efficiency of human capital. So increase product. You have to know how to, my brother called me a spin doctor, but you have to know how to sell yourself in a people. Increase, why this computer moving so slow? Increase, I'm trying to type it, oh my God. Increase the productivity and come on, don't act up while we're on Zoom. All right, Georgia, if you can't see, just write it down so that you know, increase the productivity and human capital. Productivity, it's moving so slow. What's going on, Mac? I don't understand. You're not supposed to be acting like this. Okay, increase. This is moving really slow. Next thing, Georgia, I wrote it down. What's the next thing that you say you can do? We're looking at top 3 things. So data analytics, human relations, and what else can you use to position yourself to your next best employer?
I pay critical attention to details based on real-time analysis. So
What does that mean?
other than you said to repeat?
Yeah, man, explain that to me. What does that mean?
Okay. So I do real-time analyzation wherein I would spot certain aspects. So most of my job is basically to review past data to get to update the company on what is happening. But also one aspect is real-time analysis, where I would go and watch the call queue to see who actually is not working as how they should in terms of
isn't that similar to the efficiency that we listed earlier?
Right.
Or it's different?
Well, that would be a real-time thing because the data analytics would be
over time.
Over a time period versus the real-time analysis where I would see it in the process of it happening.
Understood. All right, not a problem. So we have 3 things that you can use to differentiate yourself, and that's what I wanted us to focus on. What is your superpower and how you can differentiate yourself in this crowded marketplace? I'm going to tell you something. Degree, dime a dozen. And if you know anything about where the world is going, degree don't mean stacking mushrooms, right? You have to understand that what it is that you solve, what problems, what burden or what pain points can you alleviate from the people that you're going after, right? How do you make their lives easier? Why should they pay you money? And you have to always understand that you get paid in accordance to the value that you bring to the company. So if you showcase that you bring great value through your portfolio, I guarantee that you're in the mood for getting a second interview or a first interview. You don't have to question about it. I've seen where I've taken people's resumes and portfolios that have been getting no form of love, and in 2 days, they're getting 5, 10 callbacks. I'm like, okay, the person just never knew how to sell themselves. You have to learn how to sell yourself. So Georgia, as we said, data analytics, you lower the handle time by X% in 3 months. You increase the efficiency and capacity of the people. And in real time, you showcase to your employer how is it that you can make their bottom line work, right? So there are 3 things that you can use in your playbook to ensure that you are positioning yourself properly. Now, I know you're not looking at work right now. I don't think you're looking at work. Are you looking at work, Georgia? You're looking
yes, kind of. Yes,
but at the same time, even if you're not looking for a job, what I want you to understand is that you constantly have to update your resume. If people don't know what you're working on, if people don't know what you're doing, they will never know, okay, this is something that I can do. Georgia, have you done any form of training in the last 6 to 9 months? Are you doing anything to increase? Are you reading any books? What are you doing to put yourself to the next level?
Well, currently I am enrolled in an online class at IBM to
nice.
with data analytics. So because that is not really offered here in Jamaica, so I saw the opportunity and I grabbed towards it. So I am looking to get certified in that.
How soon before you finish?
It will be in 6 months because I just started.
Yeah. And I'm sure you're going to be looking to reap on that investment when you're done.
Right.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Is there anything else that you have before we wrap up this live demonstration?
No, that would be all. These 3 points actually assisted me because I, at times, have time. I normally fumble over my words, as you can see, speaking to you. So these 3 points actually.
I just think you need to tweak it. I think you have a gist of what you want to say. I just think you just need to tweak it. So you know what you're doing, and I tell people all the while, and if you don't hear it again, write down everything what you do. You have to document everything that you do. Nobody knows what you do except for you, you know? Nobody knows what you do. So when I ask you by X time, you're supposed to know by X time what it is that you're doing, and by X percentage. Always know how to mix the qualitative and the quantitative when it comes to building your career portfolio. And you know what I want you guys to focus on? Is let me just see in the chat. Let me just go on the chat quickly. Does everybody here have a LinkedIn account? Where's the chat? I want to see the chat. When I have a LinkedIn account, please tell me, if you have a LinkedIn account or not. Everybody here, if you don't have a LinkedIn account, go to linkedin.com right now and set it up. I want you to know from a digital standpoint, when you Google your name, almost always, if you do not have a website, the first thing that comes up is your LinkedIn page. So whenever people are looking for you, when you're looking for your job, the first social media that comes up, not Instagram, LinkedIn. LinkedIn, if you're not aware, who said no? Oh, on 1+60 said they don't have. So sort it out, man. LinkedIn is the most SEO search engine optimized social media platform that is available. It means that the most organic searches are going to come from LinkedIn. So when it is that people are searching for you, are they going to find you? Will you be the one that they call for an interview? You have to be able to set yourself apart. You have to be able to position yourself. And when you create portfolios in either Prezi or Canva, put it on your LinkedIn. Ensure that people see what you can do. No, is there anybody here? I want to do a quick thing. Is there anybody that has not worked? I just want to do a quick thing. Is there anybody here who has not worked a day in their life and they want to know some quick tips on how to build a good portfolio, even if they have never worked a day in their life? I just want to do something quickly. If not, we can, what's this? Me, okay. Someone, can I take just one quick thing, Jason, before I go to Q&A? Someone?
Sure, go ahead.
Hi, someone. Go turn on your mic, let me hear you.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, Samoya, how are you? Your camera on, we can't see, I don't even know what you look like. I can only hear your voice. Your voice sounds nice, by the way.
My camera doesn't work right now, but I'm doing well.
Okay, great. What do you want to be known for, Samoya? If I were to, what is it that would make you stand out to me as a potential employer?
I would say my efficiency and organization skills and how I'm able to use the theory that I know to apply to solve the problems around me.
Okay, so you function well in administration, I presume.
I would think so.
Okay, what field do you want to go into, if you don't mind me asking?
I would like to go into somewhere between secretarial or medicine.
Okay, two very different fields. One is desk job, one is moving up and down. Which one are you leaning towards?
More over to medicine, but in the meanwhile, secretarial could work.
Okay, how are you going to differentiate yourself when you become a doctor? Do you know what you want to focus on yet? Or you know what field you want to look into?
I'm currently looking into it right now, but it would be more over to like ENT specialist or eye doctor thereabout, not surgical stuff like that.
Okay. Are you looking to volunteer anytime soon so that you can at least get some form of practical experience?
I have reached out to volunteer personnel, not directly in medicine, but other small volunteer groups.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. How has that worked for you? Do you feel like it's pulling towards this field during the volunteering hours, or having been through the volunteering hours?
I am to be in the volunteer hours. I have
to be in the volunteer hours. Okay. Okay. All right. What I would suggest that you do right now. Do you have a LinkedIn page?
Yes, sir.
So what I would want you to do, I want you to start talking about things like that that's in your field. So when you're on LinkedIn, share medical documents, share medical articles so that people can see that you're serious about your field. You get what I'm saying? So when people are seeing that, okay, I see her talking, but she actually wants to do this. So when people are seeing that you have a position while you're studying, they will start to take you serious. I need you to start looking for things that affect us. Right now we're in a pandemic. How does the pandemic affect EMT workers? What is it that is trending for EMT during the pandemic? Look for things that help you to position yourself in the chosen field that you want to do. I think it's about time now, Jason, if I'm not mistaken. Is there any thing else that I need to answer in terms of, do we have any questions in the field? I can wrap here, but thanks so much for volunteering. When do you plan to start medicine, by the way?
We're going to sixth form and then UA, hopefully. Yeah.
You have a nice little chunk of years left. That's fine. That's great time to start to build on where you want to be. So get on LinkedIn, get reading, let people understand that you are serious, even as a student, about what it is that you want to do in this field. I'm going to add you on LinkedIn so I can see what you're doing, so I can follow up. I like to follow up so that I can, see what you're doing, and hopefully you're on the right path. Thank you again for volunteering to be my victim, my virtual victim. As I coach. Okay, great. As I coach you as to what you want to do. Jason, I think that's it for the presentation. Do we have any questions and answers that people want to ask?
All right, thank you so much, Sir Shane. Great presentation. All right, so it's time for the Q&A. So if you have your questions, you may raise your hands or you may type it in the chat and I will ask the question for you. Do we have any questions? Read the creative portfolio for Mr. Bennett.
Thank you, Denton.
All right, no questions. All right, so let me go over to YouTube and check. We have persons tuning in there. Awesome. So Shane, Mr. Bennett, it was so well received. Everything is clear. Oh, we have a question.
Yeah. Are they asking me, how do you face a toxic leader? Wow. Okay, I will answer that. How do you face a toxic leader? First of all, you're not a tree. You can make like a leaf and leave. You don't have to stay there. That's the first thing. I think a conversation is warranted if you feel like the leader is toxic. I think if you have somebody who you feel is specifically trying to smite you or bring you down, I think you should have a conversation. And if not, keep it cool and plan an exit strategy. If not, learn why you're there, learn what you need to learn. But I don't believe in abuse of any kind. Yes, I'm on Instagram, by the way. Sorry. I am SGB on Instagram. And I think it's the same on Twitter. Yeah, I don't think you should. I don't believe in abuse of any kind, whether it is personal or professional. So if the toxicity is affecting you, Alicia, I think you should leave. I don't believe in that. I really don't believe in that. How do you set up the account? LinkedIn account is very simple to set up. How do you adjust your resume accordingly? One, just get something that is editable quickly, whether by a Canva or by Word. I think you should play around with things that you want to do. I think ever so often you should shift how your resume looks. My resume has gone through very different iterations, but I think you should focus on just what you want. In fact, somebody said to me that my resume looked like a VP, but I guess it's because I've been working for so long. So I'm very peculiar in terms of what I want to be known for. As I say right now, I'm focused on increasing visibility and sales for brands. I think that's it. I'm seeing people are asking me in direct messages, where can they find me? Where can they find me? Where can they find me? For those with existing LinkedIn accounts, is it best to update or start afresh? Why would you want to start afresh, Chris? That's very interesting. You're so welcome, Willis. Why would you want to, let me turn on my camera for this, Chris, go on now. Why would you want to start afresh? IG in the chat, put my IG in the chat, at IMSGB. Why would you want to start afresh? Oh, sorry, I messaged Jason directly, I'm sorry.
I think it would probably be easier to just amend your current profile,
Yeah, man,
just
I'm gonna start afresh, because if you start afresh, what's gonna happen is you may end up like a few people who I know where I had to manage their Instagram, and they have like 3 different Instagram or 4 different Instagrams, and it doesn't make sense. Focus on editing what you have now to suit where you want to go. Just like Rihanna started out as a musician. I want to see an entrepreneur. You don't have to stay the same. Your LinkedIn doesn't have to stay the same. You owe no one an obligation to stay the same where you were yesterday, today. So you can shift if you want to, but you don't.
I love that. I'm tweeting that right now. You don't have to say
thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, man.
The stage.
Look at you, Chris. You've gone from vocalist and now you're in media. Like, you have a lot working on. Let's connect on LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting shift.
Just
working on it.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I'll link you on LinkedIn.
No problem. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate the time I got a chance to spend here. I'm hoping, here's why I want you guys to work on career portfolios. In my last 10 years, I would have interviewed for almost every major corporation in Jamaica. Turned down some, accepted some, as you can see with some of the brands here. And one of the things that they've noticed is that people, even though I'm in a specific field of marketing, they realize that people who apply for jobs don't have portfolios. How do you separate yourself in the sea of resumes and degrees? That is what you're going to do with your portfolios. You're going to showcase how you can solve the problems and how you can be what they need. And you can command the money what you want. And the money we look after other people, we're not take the check. I mean, we're not going to work for life, for laugh up and smile. No, we have bills, we have big boy bills there. We have big girl bills, we have things to pay. So differentiate yourself, do what you need to do, make an impact, as Jason said, and make some money. Thank you guys for your time.
Love that, because we have to make the money. We have to make the money. All right, guys, let me just see some claps in the chat for Shane. And on YouTube, let me see some claps as well in the comment section. That was amazing. The last statements, guys, we have to make the money. And let me just interject right now. If anybody likes my shirt is courtesy of one of our sponsors, a statement pitched by Chris. They're addressing me. And after our final presentation, the numbers on Zoom are very steady, on YouTube very steady. Thank you so much. We do have some space left on Zoom for persons to come on, so they can come over, and on YouTube as well. So we're going to go into our last presentation, because I want to keep it within the time limit. I'm trying to be a stickler for time. Yes. But again, we have amazing giveaways from our sponsors. And I feel like after this session, we want to gift someone a free resume session to get their resume or creative portfolio upgraded. I think that we can probably look into that. So you should probably stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. All right, so now let's go ahead to present. And again, guys, yes, use a hashtag. I didn't see the hashtag on Twitter. It is please pick me. It is hashtag secure the job, JA. I want to see it everywhere on Twitter. On IG, you can tag me. It is at the JCDB. Tag me in all my posts. I'll reshare everything. We're going to raise awareness as we get ready to start the planning for part 2. So now we are about to go into our final session. I left this one for last because I know this one is probably the most touchy for everyone. But no, the interviewing process can be so daunting. My name on LinkedIn is Jason Christian Brown. So my name on LinkedIn is Jason-Christian Brown. You can't see me, it's the same face. You can't miss me. I update my LinkedIn weekly, so I am there on it. I'll post a link in the chat soon as well. Okay, so the interviewing process is daunting for so many persons. Persons get sick, they get anxious, they get nervous, they can't manage, they can't answer the questions well, they don't know what to wear, they don't know what to say, they don't know what to do, and it becomes a mental struggle for interviews. So our next presenter is someone who is big on social media, someone who is big in marketing and sales. His name is Carlton Stewart. Now, Carlton Stewart is a service-driven, result-oriented financial service specialist with over 18 years experience in the financial sector. Carlton has a solid background in the field of banking, marketing, financial service, and general management, and has operated at various levels during his career. Carlton has worked in the credit union movement for over 11 years, was in commercial banking for over 4 years, and in the microfinancing sector for over 2 years. He has occupied roles spanning from business development to business banking executive to career underwriting, delinquency management, marketing, and sales. Currently, he is the head of sales and service at Cornerstone Trust and Merchant Bank, where he oversees all sales, service, and product development for the bank. He has the role also of complementing responsibilities to include recruitment and staffing to meet the bank's objectives. Carlton holds a Master of Science degree in Marketing and Data Analytics, from the University of the West Indies, a Bachelor's of Science degree in Management Information Systems, and a Diploma in Computer Studies and Management. Carlton is also a Christian, a mentor, a financial coach, and he is the founder of Let's Talk Money with Carlton and the CEO of Live to Give Jamaica Foundation, a non-profit organization that provides food, mentorship, and educational assistance to those in need. So to close up our session today with interview tips, do's and don'ts for Secure the Job JA, let me invite Mr. Carlton Stewart to come on in and to do his session at this time.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope that we're all good. We're having a very good session. Please don't mind my background. You may hear some noise here and there. I'm facilitating online class for kids. You know, the children have to learn. So don't mind if you hear some screams here and there or shout here and there. It's a part of the parenting process. But it's a pleasure to be here, Jason. I grabbed the opportunity when you made mention of it because I think it is very much important. So all the persons that are here that have logged on to this session, pick up yourself if it is that you are here because you want to change jobs or you want to find your first job or you hate a current job and want to move on to something else and you want to just know how you can maneuver into being better at the interview process. Welcome on board. It's important that persons who are here today not only come and attend, but to try to get as much as you possibly can, write down information that Jason and the team has put together. And Jason has been impacting the lives of young persons, and we are privileged to be here today. So we're glad for the opportunity. We're the younger persons, we're not so on the younger side, but we're here to support the younger persons and those persons who are not so young, but still want to make that impact as they move forward. So I just made mention, I'm in sales and marketing and banking for the longest while, but I've also been tasked with the responsibility from several times to recruit. And just left to that part, I wanted to make mention specifically before I am where I am now, I was tasked with the responsibility to run a company with responsibility for staffing, hiring, training, development, everything put together. So I have a bit of experience sitting in the room where the interviews are concerned and to see where persons are and what they are bringing to the table. And I want to help you as best as possible today to equip you, to make the best step forward in your interview. Outside of the planner that Jason mentioned earlier, I want to also give away a free financial coaching session to a young person who will find their first job, have their paycheck, and they need to make better financial decisions because I am a money person. I like to ensure that persons are budgeting very well and handling money properly. So if you land your dream job, you get your first paycheck, and it is that you need to know how to manage the money from the salary, I want to gift you today with a session to walk through your budget, or to start out your investments, or to ensure that the money that you're getting is working for you. We'll speak on that after. I'm here today for interview. Let me run through that nice and quickly, and any questions that you do have, save them and we can get through to them nice and easily. So the interview, this is your opportunity to shine. I know Nastasia went through earlier concerning, the resume, putting your best foot forward over on paper. She did that. And Shane just went through putting your portfolio together. So having put all of these together and you would have attracted the recruiter, you now need to go into the interview to shine. It's now your time to bring a resume to life because you put things on paper sometimes to attract the recruiter. But the important part now is when you enter that room, that physical room or no, that virtual room, how do you separate yourself from the next person who's about to be interviewed for the same job? Chances are 5, 6, 7 of you are lined up for the same job. How do you separate yourself when you walk to that interview room? You need to prove to the company that, hey, guess what? Give me a shot at this. And now is your opportunity to do that. Importantly, Your interview does not begin when you walk through those doors to enter the company. Your interview begins when you apply for that job, because the recruiter who's looking out to bring you in does several things before. They scour your social media pages, better believe it. And for many persons who would have applied to jobs and they say, links, I'm not getting a call, and you know, I've applied to 20 jobs. Have you taken a look at your social media page? What are the contents of your social media pages? Some of you are applying for jobs in corporate, and your Facebook and your Instagram page look like you have OnlyFans. And you need to be very much careful as to what you put on your social media pages, because you don't want to be aligned to a company who's responsible, a company who is out there putting their best foot forward in corporate social responsibilities, and you are out there, let me just stop saying that, but you're out there not representing yourself well. It is important, and it's your own social media space, it's your own page, very much so. But you're not an entrepreneur. You don't own your own company. You want to work for an established company that has core values, that has principles. And then on the outside, your pages look as though, yeah, let me just move on. So ensure that your pages are properly updated and you don't have anything untoward on your page that would allow the recruiter to just say, you know what, next. A lot of you fail at the interview from that stage, from that level. Does it affect me getting the job? Somebody asked, of course. You have applied for a job in a school to work with children, to work with vulnerable group, for example. And then when I go to your social media pages, you are promoting different things. You are tweeting about pedophiles. You're tweeting in support of racism. Your social media page encompasses everything from your Instagram to your Twitter to your Facebook page. So be careful as to what you're supporting, what you're promoting on these pages, because that can be something that disqualifies you. And as I said earlier, God looks at the heart, but we're not gods when we're looking at your resume. We're not looking at your, getting you to work for the company. We're looking at what you're bringing to the table on the exterior. That's one. How you answer your phone. So HR calls you to say, hi, let me say, Nikita, we're happy to tell that you have been successful. Want to call you back for an interview. When HR call the phone, yo, but there, good girl, Nikki answer the phone. Some weird things that you say. Sometimes when I call, or my assistant at the time call to advise that you have an interview, I'm hearing pranks on the voicemail. I'm like, what is happening here? I call to leave a voicemail. Hi, hello. Yeah, man, how are you doing? Yes, thanks for calling. Yeah, how are you? Then I hear, leave a message up the tone, right there and then the job was gone to the door because you are here to be a prankster. And I'm looking for serious people. So that's an interview part of the process as well. When it is that you actually crossed, so ensure when you answer your cell phone, if you're looking at a job, answer your cell phone regular. Hi, good afternoon. Hello, this is Carlton. How can I help? Be professional when you're answering your cell phone. Not only your idle friends are calling you. If you are looking for a job, the recruiter is also calling you to ensure that you do that. When you enter the building, so for example, you're asked to come to the company for the interview. When you walk through the doors physically, and I know now it's COVID time, so a lot of them are virtual, but I'm just segueing a little to what some companies are still doing. If you go to a company physically for an interview, from you enter the gate, from the security post to the first, no, shake to win. Thank you very much. I called you for the interview, said, shake to win with Digicel. Go sit down. So when you walk through the security post, how you greet the security guard, I know of companies that when they call you for an interview, they tell the security guard to look out for you. They tell the receptionist to look out for you. They tell the person who is greeting you with the application form, how did this person react? Did they say good morning? The office help boys wiping the floor. Did you greet them properly? Because a lot of the time, you may be very much skilled, you may be very much qualified, but how you treat people is important. And companies look out for that as well. You walk past the security guard, no morning. You walk past the office cleaner, you look down on the person. You sit down in the lobby, did not even say a pleasant morning to everybody. So those things are important. And I want everybody to know that you need to be mindful of these things. And if it is that you have Yeah, man, you must have manners. You need to have manners right across the board. I would prefer to hire somebody who is not very much qualified, but they are trainable. They have good traits. They have good manners. They are able to communicate with the person at the lowest level to the person at the highest level in the company. It shows that you are trainable, and that's important from the onset. Always assume that you are being interviewed. If HR call to have a discussion with you, always treat every conversation that you're having with a prospective employer, with somebody who is professional, all because you may never know when you'll get your big break. A lot of things, the interview is only in the room, but sometimes you are in your office and a CEO walks up to you to be served, and how you speak, how you communicate, how you serve. That's important. All right? You need to be honest when you are doing your interview. Quick thing, I know companies sometimes do little things during the process of interview to ensure that persons are honest. I was at a financial institution doing an interview years ago, and obviously working in a bank or financial institution, you need to be honest. So the company in the lobby, they dropped some money in the lobby. And a few interviewers came, some of them picked up the money, say, hey, I found this downstairs. And I had one candidate who stopped in the lobby, saw the money on the floor, looked left, looked right, took up the money in her handbag, come upstairs, did the interview. Interview was, well, she was polished, she had the experience, she was very, very good. When the interview was finished, I asked the security guard, do you see the money? They're like, no, there's no money. I'm like, you're sure? Look at Breeze blow the money. Because it could not be this nice Christian girl. By the way, on her resume, she was youth president. I'm like, all right, no problem. Look up the Breeze blow the money. That must be the case. When we checked the lobby, there was no money in the hallway to come up. So I'm like, but this is strange. The money was placed there right before. Anyways, she left. In the evening, we picked up the video camera to check, everything got through. I'm seeing the young lady looking left, looking right, took up the $2,000, put in her handbag, come upstairs, did a wonderful interview. Somebody may then ask, do I give her the job because she was well in the interview? She spoke well, she was confident. But no, we can't. Your character is at play as well. So we called her and said, hi, we left some money in the staircase. Somebody dropped some money. Did you see it? At least come clean now. Say, that's starting on, but the start was lost. No, sir, I did not see the money. This is an adult, about 28 years old, 29 at the time of the interview. What happened? The young lady stole the money. Your character is at play. So you need to ensure that from the onset, she had a chance to come clean. And exactly, and she didn't come clean. So these are important things when it finders, keepers, losers, weepers. But these are important things which speaks to your character. All right, so you get interviewed. Show up for the interview. When I say show up, I mean dress appropriately for the interview. You can't go to the interview as though you're going down the road. You can't go to the interview, and I know I've heard it on social media. I've seen it several times of persons saying that we need the HR departments or hiring managers to go with the times. You don't need a bush jacket and tie and jacket and the whole. And I agree. You don't need a three-piece suit for the interview, but you need to dress appropriate for the interview. You cannot wear your flip-flop slippers, ladies, to the interview. You can't wear a t-shirt to the interview, depending on the role, even if it is that you are applying for a role that requires to dress down. I'm expecting you to be properly attired. And you understand? Ensure your clothes is pressed, properly pressed. Ensure you bathe, ensure you smell well, show up for the interview. And when I say show up, I mean, somebody said it before me, your first impression, it lasts. Show up for the interview. Look good, smell good, be on time for the interview. At the interview, oh God, this is before COVID, and I wish it was COVID time, and the person had on a mask. The young man came to the interview. When the man opened his mouth, I had to say, give me a minute, take a break, and we don't come again. I said, I want to keep. The young man's mouth was, and I'm saying that you can have an off day, but ensure you're going in an interview, even if you have a mask, I tell you, the flat of the interview. But the reality is you have to ensure that your best foot and your best breath comes forward in the interview. Do a breath check. Walk with your means. Have a chewing gum in your mouth. Make sure your mouth is fresh. And do a breath check. Do a breath check. Do an armpit check. Check those things. Gentlemen, ensure that you have an undershirt on. Because whilst you're being interviewed, you can be very nervous. And then it is that your sweat is showing through your clothes. And then, you know, watermark all over. Ensure, ladies out there, you may sweat as well. So ensure that you are putting yourself together properly. Represent yourself. Be confident in the interview. I know you are nervous sometimes, but be confident. Let us see what you can bring to the table and bring some energy to the interview. Bring energy to the interview. Don't go to the interview like you're tired and want to sleep and you're stressed out and you can't pay the light bill. I'm seeing that. There's no lunch money for the kids. I'm seeing that on your face. The man I give you a bun. I'm seeing that. Listen to me. When you're coming to the interview, ensure that all the problems that you have, you lay it on the altar and let God take care of them and show up to the interview with your best self. Tip number 3, do your homework. Know about the company that you are going to be interviewed for. You cannot go to a company and you want the job and you know nothing about the company. You don't know who the CEO is. You don't know who the hiring manager is. You don't know when the company started. You don't know what the company do. You don't have a clue. I've had person in an interview and they're come to say, you work at a bank. What products do you sell? I'm like, are you serious? You are planning to sell the products that we are offering, financial products, and you don't know the products of the company? Do your homework. Ensure that you know. Give yourself the upper hand in the interview. Let the recruiter realize that you are aware, you are informed, you show up, you are knowledgeable, you're already ahead of the game. Training time can now be reduced because you already know the products that we offer. If you know someone that works at the company, ask them, how are things at the company? Read up, are there any articles about the company? Know current affairs. Check the newspaper, what there are in articles. Don't just check Facebook and Instagram and scroll through the Met Gala picture them and scroll through Spice picture them and scroll through. Go and read up some things. Read the articles on the company. Were they in the news last week? You know, did they perform well? You know, what were their profits like? Did they show their financial statement? Go and be edified. Educate yourself about the company. So when you come to sit before a recruiter, the recruiter knows that, hey, that person, they know what they are talking about. And I agree, not every company will be listed. But if it is that you are able to get information, even the basic information, get it. Most, if not all, companies will have at least a website or a page that you can visit to get at least basic information. But you cannot show up to a public company that have information everywhere. They're in the news and you know nothing about them. Get a background on the interviewers. If you can Google their name to see what comes up, you know, do that. That puts you ahead of the game sometimes. All right? You're now in the interview. Listen and respond to what is asked. Sometimes you are asked a question in the interview. You tell something. The interviewer asks you something. You tell him where your grandmother were. You know. Answer what you are asked. One of the key questions sometimes that they will say, tell me about yourself. It is important that you strike a balance. Yeah? You don't want to get too deep in your personal life, but you want them to know that outside of work, you are a person. So strike a balance. Tell them your name. Obviously, they know it, but what is that do you do for fun? Are you a mother? Are you a father? They can make brief about this, but then you go to the professional side. I don't need to hear that you did grow up with 2 fowl on the farm. I don't want to know that, you know, you did. Stick to a nice balance of information when you're asked. And when it is that you are going to answer, somebody said, do not lie. Don't make up things on the spot because you want to fill the gap. Don't do that. All right? They'll pick up on those things when it's that you are lying. Because at the end, they may ask you another question in a different way and if they pick up on the lies. So be truthful. Listen and respond to what is asked. Make a good impression, guys. Let your personality come to the fore. I know at times you are nervous. It is okay to have your talking points. Open your portfolio before you, your resume on one side, a blank paper, make some jottings if you need to. And when you're asked a question, take a step back, breathe a little, and answer accordingly. I've seen several interviews where persons have their resumes in a portfolio and maybe some talking points before them, just to keep, because we know that you are nervous. And I've seen several times, I'm not to write an essay, 1 or 2 points to help you, especially in the areas where you are bringing knowledge to the employer of how you can assist them. A very important key point. Do not trash talk your previous or present employer. So your interviewer will say, so why do you want to leave so-and-so to work for us? I don't want to hear you say, boy, I hate my manager. If you want to work and chat people too much. I hate the company because they don't look out for staff. Do not trash talk your employer, because similarly as you're doing that, when you maybe want to move on from the company that you're interviewing for, you may do the very same thing. So never you trash talk your past, or even if you have a very bad experience, hold it like a G. Hold it and give genuine reasons. You know, you want to grow, you want to advance yourself. You see this company as a good opportunity for you to grow, and tell us why you think that. But do not make excuses. One of the things companies, employers don't like are persons who find fault and cannot find the solution. So don't bring up the fault. Don't bring up that them charge you pay. Don't bring up that you catch the manager or something. Just focus. Focus on you. Why do you want to work for this company? Let me hear that from you, not what the company did for you. Do not overspeak or talk more than the interviewer. Meaning, interviewers asking questions, you're cutting off the interviewer. You are answering the questions for however long. The interviewer is not getting a chance to plug our next question. Just answer the question. Be nice. Get to the point, but ensure you answer the question. But do not speak over the interviewer. Do not use your past rejections or your past experiences to affect this interview. So you may have gone through 3 or 4 interviews and you didn't get the job, and you're fed up. You're tired of interviews right now. I do not need to see that in this interview. Ensure, as I made mention earlier, leave the problems behind and come up as a brand new person who is willing and ready to start working. People, don't be late. Do not be late for your interview. If you are having a significant problem that is going to have you been late, call ahead. I would prefer somebody call to say, hey, Carlton, hey, so-and-so, we met in an accident, or, you know, we missed the bus, or the bus broke down on the road. I'm going to be late. Can we reschedule? But always communicate. But try your very best to be at least half an hour early for the interview, because you have forms to fill out. You have different things to do before you get in the room. So ensure that that is a thing. Be on time. Your cell phone should not be on in the interview, any at all. I don't want anybody to be taking calls, interviews. Your phone will ring out in an interview, and then the ring out will ring out too, you know, or some nice song. Some song will play and listen to me. Just be careful. Guys, do not overstep your place. I know sometimes you're in a very good interview and the interviewer is running a joke. Stay down there. Stay down there, play at the ringtone. And you're in the interview and the interviewer seems very, very nice and they are running the jokes and you feel comfortable. Remember, you're in an interview. Always remain professional. Always. Ensure that you are comfortable, but not too comfortable where you think that this is no, I'm a friend. You're running dirty jokes. You're complimenting the interviewer inappropriately. When you leave the room, they should not feel uncomfortable that you are in the room. Ensure that you maintain your cool, because what this shows, familiarity breeds contempt. That is so true. I've seen interviews where gentlemen are complimenting the interviewer now, and I'm like, oh, what was going on a while ago? It's borderlining you're hitting on the person. It's borderlining you being inappropriate. But you should always remember that you're in an interview. This is your possible boss, your possible employer. Ensure. I have 2 minutes left. Do not focus solely on you, meaning highlight your strengths, but tell the employer how your strength can complement the company. Highlight to let them know that you are an organized person or you're a sales-oriented person, and with your sales skills, you can bring $20 million a month in sales because of your sales strength. Or organized you are, you're able to juggle a lot of tasks for the company, and as such you think it's a good opportunity for you. But don't just come and tell me all your strengths. I am kind, I am organized, I am this, I am that. How is that going to be translated into business for the company that you are going to work for? When you highlight also your weaknesses, companies sometimes ask, what are some of your weaknesses? Stay away from weaknesses that we know isn't a weakness. Don't tell me, oh, I love to overcommit and say yes to too many persons because you want it to be a weakness, but it sounds like a strength. We know you're not telling the truth. So just find genuine weaknesses and tell us how you are working on those weaknesses. All right? And those are ways that you can go through interview to make a very good impression. I mentioned social media earlier. I want to use an example. So I'm on LinkedIn and I generally post my stuff on LinkedIn. When I was at my previous employer, a company reached out to me on LinkedIn just by the content that I post on my social media. Say, hey, Carlton, we love your content and we really want to have further discussions. We all know that LinkedIn now have several scammers that send you some messages to say, do you want to make extra money? Are you interested in this opportunity? We know them. So when I got the message, I was very much kind of cagey about it. But I said, all right, let me have the conversation. They want to speak to me further because they love the energy, they love the content. I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. Always maintain your professionalism. You hear what I'm saying to you guys? When the person reached out, I remained very much professional because I wasn't sure who the person was or if they were scammers. So at all times, remain professional. Choppers are on LinkedIn. Yes, they are. So I remained very much professional. About a week passed, the person sent me another message on LinkedIn. Hey, Carlton, we want to move to our next phase with you because we realize that blah, blah, blah. Would you be open to an interview? I'm like, but I didn't apply for a job. Which interview is this now? They want to carry on with their company. I'm like, all right, always open to opportunities. By a week, I got an email from a company overseas to say that they want to interview me for one of the executive roles in the country. I'm like, hold on, but it's not bad, it's nice. Your image on your social media is important, guys. I got the invite, I got a Teams meeting invite, did an interview online. I'm like, but hold on, I just applied for a job. And what did they see on social media is what intrigued them to think that I am able to be a part of their company. Guys, before I know it, I passed the interview on Teams. The company now want to send for me from Jamaica to fly me over into their country to interview for the senior management role. I'm like, but hold on. I don't know the company from anywhere at all. I don't know anywhere. I started to Google the company, research, ask friends and anybody I know overseas, you know this company X, Y, and Z. Finally, I took the opportunity. The company flew me out, put me up in their hotel, wherever in Miami, and I went to another country, did the interview, stayed there for a week or two. You got a full-on treatment, and the interview went very, very well. I'm saying that to say, what you put on your social media status, number one, how you communicate and remain professional at all times has a level of impact that so many other things will not give you. And you are job hunting, you need to be very much careful. Reach out to persons that you think are able, network with persons, and in all of that, ensure that you remain professional in your dealing with people, and you should be perfectly fine. The interview is not something that is here to harm you, to push you over, but be prepared. Step into that room prepared and show them your best self, and that should be able to help you to navigate the interview space as best possible. My time is up. I'm 2 minutes over. My name is Carlton Stewart. You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Carlton G Stew. I'm also over on YouTube at Let's Talk Money with Carlton. And I'm on LinkedIn again at Carlton Stewart. So connect with me, everybody. I try as best to answer any DMs, financial questions as best as possible. If you need one-on-one sessions, you can also arrange that as well. But let's connect and let us see how we can help you navigate this space and be a better version of yourself. Peace and God bless you, everybody.
All right, everyone, come on. Just let me see some claps in the chat. Come on, that was a great. So come on, let me see the claps in the chat. Thank you, Sir Carlton. That was I was in between laughing. I was in between laughing and tweeting the points, but it was an amazing, amazing, amazing session. And I want to thank you personally for being a part of Secure the Job JA Part 1. And I'm looking forward to what we can do together as we progress. Now, while I have Mr. Stewart here with me, we have to do a quick Q&A. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can place your questions in the chat. And if you're here on Zoom, you may raise your hand or you may place your questions in the chat as well. And we'll have Mr. Stewart answer them as much as possible. And also, we have to give away the financial coaching session. I think I should probably do a live.
Yeah, no, so for that, Jason, I'm thinking all the persons that follow me, I'll randomly pick somebody from all the followers from today's session. So if you follow me on Instagram, then I will select one of the persons who would have followed me from today for the coaching session, and then maybe we can take it from there. You can actually decide.
Yeah, man, so I like that idea. So to enter to win the free financial counseling session, you have to follow Carlton on Instagram at Carlton G Stew. You probably can do a story, tag him, and he'll respond to your DM to let you know if you win that. Somebody said follow done already. The persons are following. All right, we love to see. Do we have any? I saw one question in the chat. Do you offer interview prep sessions?
Listen, every session, just book a session and we work it through with you. If you click the link in my bio, you can also just book a session and we can move from there.
Yes. Awesome. Do we have any other questions? Any questions about the interview processes? Let me go over to YouTube and see what's happening over there. Brian Koff, happy birthday, Basil. It is Basilia's birthday. Yes, happy birthday, Bas. A supporter of Life Lessons, a supporter of what we do. Brian, I see you over there. Kenneth Marshall, thank you for viewing. Devon Brown Senior said, timely conference. He loves what you're saying, Mr. Stewart. All right, so
question, Jason, who do you ask about salary? I had those 2 points earlier to read, but time went.
Go ahead.
At the end of the interview, you can always ask questions, so prepare questions, yeah? Always ask about the interview process, because sometimes you are interviewed, you can ask them, how soon will I be able to hear back from you? What's the process? So you can know when to expect a call back from the company. And also, when they say to you, do you have any questions? You can at that point raise the question. They generally say you can wait until the second interview to ask about salary. I don't subscribe to that because I don't want to waste my time to go through the process if it is that the salary is not going to be worth in my while. I love money, so I'm going to be asking about the money part of things. But how you ask, you can ask about what are the complementary benefits or the package that's attached to this role. You don't have to directly ask, so how much are you going to pay me monthly? You can have different ways of asking, but be sure to have a basic idea as to what it is that you are up for. Because it doesn't make sense you go through our interview process, you are very good, and they're paying you $50,000 a month. And you can't pay all the bills. So you want to have a basic idea, what is it? So you can generally ask at the point when they say, do you have any questions?
All right, so I have a question coming from Mr. Adi. It was that one. I had a question from Mr. Aldine Ellis in Canada. He says, how do employers feel when they realize you have viewed their LinkedIn profiles prior to the interview?
It's a part of the researching process. And I have had persons who have viewed my Instagram page, add me, I'm like, this is so weird. But view me on LinkedIn to ensure, who they're coming from. And I think it's very good because you're doing your research.
The source.
Yeah, you want to know the person who's going to interview you. You want to know their energy. Maybe you want to know how they relate to people. So it's also good. So do your research and we encourage that.
And there's another question. Most interviews, this is coming from DeAndre Jones. Most interviews are now done via Zoom. What additional tips would you give for those versus a face-to-face interview?
Oh, yes, Zoom interviews. So you're now in the virtual space. It's important that you set up your area properly. Nice. Get good lighting so we can see you. Watch your background. You have virtual backgrounds to put on. I don't want to see you interviewing somebody walking behind you coming from the bathroom. I don't want to see, listen to me, I want to see you stand up to move away from the interview and realize you're only in our tights and your nice top. I've seen that. I'm like, Lord Jesus. Ensure that you select a nice area, sit down, get good lighting so we can actually see you. Show up on time nonetheless in the Zoom room or whatever platform they are using until you have good connection. And sometimes it's not left up to you, but try your very best to get data if the internet may fail you, but put your best foot forward. Just ensure that you're in an area where we can see you and your background is professional enough that it will not distract the recruiters.
All right, and if I may add, as best as possible, as much as possible, if you're going to interview, you have persons in the house, let them know for the hour, just try to keep it all down. Just be silent, try to find somewhere that is not so noisy, and put on pants, and skirts, put them on. Just embody the atmosphere. Put them on, just to be safe, because sometimes we forget that our videos are on, that our microphones are on. Just be professional as you sit down to get that done. Do we have any more questions for Mr. Toots? I don't see any here on Zoom. Checking YouTube. Okay, we have 2 questions. We have one coming from Brown Harrison. When you're in an interview and they ask, what is your desired salary? How would you go about answering that question? What is your desired salary?
How much money I want? Because when I apply for a job, I'm setting up the company, I'm setting up the role, I do my research. And I know sometimes because we really need the job, we cannot put a small salary to see if they will, come over and give me the job. But if you do a very good job and a company wants you, they are going to come after you, irrespective of what you put as a salary. They will negotiate the salary with you. I've seen it 100 times, a dozen times over. Put your desired salary. Just ensure that the role that you're applying for, the salary band within the industry. Information is actually there. So if you're applying for a teller, that within the industry now, tellers may get 150, 180 a month, 200,000, depending on the seniority. You can't have 500,000 a month. So the level that you're applying for, and you ensure that you put your desired salary within that band that you get information on. So for example, when I was interviewing for a role in previous times, I go online to see what the international standard is for the salary to ensure that I'm not asking outside of that band. And then if I know anybody at the company, I can jump there and ask that question, or just ask somebody within the field, a person with an admin, how much are they paid now? And then you negotiate the salary from there. But do not undersell yourself any at all.
All right, awesome. And we have one last question on YouTube as well. This is coming from Kenneth Marshall. How do you negotiate salary? I was taught to strategically get the employer to offer the first figure and then you negotiate higher. Are there any tips?
Remember, most companies I know now on their forms, they ask for desired salary. So even before you get an offer, you would have already presented what you think you deserve. Even if you leave the form blank, I've seen many companies call you back to say, you left the form blank, or before you leave, this area is blank, kindly put, everything that you have on the paper. In most structured and established companies, you have salary bands that are predetermined, that are already there. So for example, an accountant, you have several bands of salary, starting with 2 million, level 1, 2.5, 2.6, 2.9. So you will fall in a band. If you are that good and they want you and you fall outside of a band, they will negotiate, or they can negotiate. But your application form already states what it is that you're willing to work for. If what you have asked for in most reputable companies is below the band, they will still give you what the band requires, because competition has to be fair and equitable. But you can negotiate. If they bring a low offer and you think it is too low, you can always say, can we have this increased? I've seen it several times. And if you're that good, they will negotiate with you. Jason, you're muted.
My apologies. We have a question coming on WhatsApp from Gianni. She's asking, what if you move up in a job and they don't move your salary? How do you approach that?
In most companies, as I mentioned, you have salary bands. So when you say you move up, what do you mean? Your position changed?
I'm assuming a
same
promotion.
position. On a promotion then, girl, they must get some more work. But what you find is that when it is that you move from one person to another, you generally have bands. You can have a lateral move, and that's important that you don't confuse it with a promotion, because you can be a customer service, for example, and they give a lateral move to an admin, which was the same level in the same band in the company. So for every time you're going to be moved in a role, you need to find out, is it in a different salary band? Because you can have a lateral move to a different role, and in your head, it's a promotion. In the company's head, we're just moving you laterally across the line. So companies have different bands, as I explained earlier, of salary, and different roles can have the same salary. So you need to be careful. And sometimes they can expand your role, give you much more to do on the same salary as well. So you have to keep those things in mind and ask the right questions. Before you accept a promotion, ask if it's a promotion or it's a lateral move, but added benefits or salary that comes along with this new role. Always ask.
Well, she clarified to say position. So it's a position change.
So they change
the same will
position.
apply.
Yeah, so always ask before you accept a change in position. Always ask what is the complementary salary to this role to know if it's a lateral move or it's a promotion.
All right, awesome. And we have the last question coming from Georgia Brown. Is there a site we can see the salaries for each job description, like a general thing?
Not really. Most government companies, if you're applying in government, those are information that you can get. Most government jobs have the salary in the vacancies. Salaries in Jamaica right now are still a private thing. It's in the lock and vault. It's under key. People don't want to share their salary information. But you have a site overseas. It's called Glassdoor. I mean, it's North American, it's overseas, but it gives you a basic idea of what the industry across the world is currently paying for particular roles, and sometimes use that to kind of benchmark what I ask for, how I negotiate the salary. But locally, there isn't one, no.
All right, I'm just scoring YouTube to see if we have covered everything. All right, great. All right, Sister Stewart, thank you so much for being a part of Secure the Job JA today. We really appreciate you and all the insights you brought. And thank you again for doing it for the young people. We really, really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
All right, guys, so we are about to close in a short while, but I have the giveaways. We have the giveaways. And I have to shout out my sponsors: Statement Pieces by Chris, Terrace Cosmetics, Flourishment Care, Design Central JA, Let's Talk Money with Carlton. All right, so I'm going to be sharing my screen with the rules for the competition to win the prizes. And this is open to the persons on Zoom and the persons who are also viewing online, so they can participate. This requires some level of interaction, yeah. So we're going to make that happen. And for persons who have been asking, yes, this will be saved on my channel. It is called Life Lessons with Jason. That is Life Lessons with Jason on YouTube. You can go back and watch it as many times as you want. Subscribe, like, comment, support, and let's make it happen. So let me share my screen and I'll walk you through how you can win the lovely prizes today. And again, that was Mr. Carlton Stewart with interview tips, do's and don'ts. So the first giveaway is courtesy of Statement Pieces by Chris, and it's for the man then. So for the men who are listening, on Instagram and Twitter, you're going to post a picture of yourself in your best professional attire, and you're going to tag me at the JCDB, and you're going to use the hashtag #SecureTheJobJA. So take a picture of the screen if you want to win a complete fit from Statement Pieces by Chris. If you go to my Instagram profile, all my clothes, whether it's church clothes, casual clothes, work clothes, I get them from the same place, Statement Pieces by Chris, right in halfway tree. So all you have to do on Twitter and Instagram is post a picture of you in your best professional attire and tag at the JCDB and use the hashtag #SecureTheJobJA. And one lucky entry will win a gift certificate from Statement Pieces by Chris to go and pick out items to get you ready for that interview. That's one giveaway. The second one is from Terrace Cosmetics. This one is for the ladies. So on the same thing, on Twitter and Instagram, post a picture of you in your best professional attire. You're going to tag me, use a hashtag, and you'll be able to win a gift certificate to get some female supplies, some makeup, some some moisturizer, some sponges, some things to help you look better as you prepare for your face-to-face or for your virtual interview. So again, you can screenshot this page so that you don't miss what is happening. All right. So we have another one. That's a financial journal, from Let's Talk Money with Carlton. Carlton Stewart, the person that spoke a while ago, he produces financial journals and he sells them. So on Twitter now, this is for Twitter. You have to post a takeaway from the interview tips, do's and don'ts session with Carlton Stewart. You're going to tag me and use the hashtag #SecureTheJobJA. So all these entries will be put into a generator and the winner will be selected at random. So on Twitter, you're going to post your takeaway from the interview tips, do's and don'ts session with Carlton Stewart. Tag the JCDB me and use the hashtag #SecureTheJobJA, and you'll be able to win a financial journal courtesy of Let's Talk Money with Carlton. And then we have Flourishment Scare for the man them. So on Twitter, we're putting the awareness out there. So you want to let persons know what's happening over here and to join the movement. So you're going to post a picture of yourself showing your beard, if you have one, or if you have an aspiring beard, there has to be hair there. You cannot post a clean face. We have to see the hair. You're going to tag me at the JCDB, and you're going to use the hashtag #SecureTheJobJA. And the good thing about Flourish is it can also be used. Flourish can also be used on your hair as well. So you can post a picture with your fresh cut and tag me and use a hashtag, and you'll be lucky enough to win a spearmint scented beard or the courtesy of Flourishment Care. And I'm wearing the same one right now. Love that one. All right, so this morning when I got up to start this, I was so, a bit nervous, but I'm so happy that you came on, everyone who joined. This was something that came to me after I prayed one day about wanting to help persons, because I went through my struggles. And there has been so much talk on social media about unemployment, about the job woes, and I wanted to just leverage my network to see how many persons I can help. That is why we offered to make this free, and I would have paid for everything myself to get this done. So I want to thank you all for being a part of this journey with me, and just continue to support the movement, because it would only get bigger from here. Part 1 was a great success, and part 2 is going to be even bigger. So just don't take this lightly. Apply the information, work on your CVs, work on your resumes, work on your portfolios, work on your online presence. Do all you can do with this information to go out and make an impact. And I want to charge everyone, if everyone who is viewing here can go over on Instagram and Twitter and just share one thing that they took from this session, and use the hashtag and tag me, as well as doing everything to win your prizes, we can make it happen. I am appreciative for everyone. Thank you so much to my parents who are always supporting, to the presenters, Nastasia Ryan, Shane Bennett, Carlton Stewart, to the sponsors, statement pieces by Chris, Design Central, JA for the artwork, Terrace Cosmetics, Let's Talk Money with Carlton, Flourishment Care, to all the supporters, everyone who followed me on LinkedIn. I saw the notifications on Instagram, on Twitter. Persons who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, thank you so much for the support. To my lovely parents always praying for me, I appreciate you all. To my friends who would have shared, everyone who shared the flyer and tagged me, everyone who invited someone else, I appreciate you all so much. So one more time before we go, I'm just going to go through how you can win the prizes, and then we will go out and enjoy the rest of the day. So for the beard oil, you post a picture of your beard or your fresh cut, tag me, the JCDB, use the hashtag #SecureTheJobJA. If you want to win the financial journal, post a takeaway from the interview tip session with Carlton Stewart, what you learned, tag me, use a hashtag, you can win the journal. If you want to win the makeup items, ladies, post a picture of you in your best professional attire, use a hashtag and tag me. And the same for statement pieces by Chris Men. Post a picture on Instagram or Twitter to your story with your best professional attire, tag me, use a hashtag, and let's make it happen. So thank you everyone for being a part of hashtag #SecureTheJobJA today. Thank you to Mikhail Phillips, who came on to help me with the technical support. If you want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, it is the JCDB. I'm going to place it in the chat. If you want to follow Carlton Stewart, it is Carlton G. Stewart on IG and Instagram. Thank you so much for the well wishes. Thank you everyone for tuning in, for staying with me, for rocking. It was an amazing, amazing, amazing session. To all the persons on YouTube, thank you so much for your greetings. I really appreciate it. I am humbled, and I am pretty sure that I'm going to leave here and cry because I'm so overwhelmed with the support. But I really, really appreciate it. Guys, continue to stay awesome. Continue to pray. Don't stop believing. My last stint with being unemployed was for 7 months. Don't stop believing. It will happen. Keep working. Take breaks. Get your mental space together and keep at it. It will. Listen to me. If I can tell you it will change, it will change. It will change. It will change. So until we meet again for Secure the Job JA Part 2, stay safe. God bless and have a great day.